Welcome back, everybody. Let's tab 59. Hope you're all well. Well, another cracking day. What's going on with this weather? Well, I'm enjoying it. Now, I want to chat about mental health and well-being for everybody, not just for soldiers, sailors, airmen, not just for veterans, but for everybody. It's a big thing. Now, also in this video, I want to chat to you about Operation Jackdaw. I'll tell you all about that. I did do a video previously about it, but I want to expand on that video. And also, I want to chat to you about maybe a few of us getting together. A few Let's Tab 59 tabbers. Not tabbers, just people that want to get together and maybe meet up next year. A long way off, I know. But it's nice to talk about stuff early on so that people can plan stuff. So, first of all, mental health and well-being. Now, I'm no expert. My own mental health, I thought I've always been all right. Through my service, I've done several operations, seen some horrible stuff like most of you have, you soldiers, ex-soldiers, sailors and airmen, Royal Marines. It's all different degrees. People have different reactions to various incidents that happen to them during their service. And also there's that, even if you were serving in the forces, or maybe the police or the ambulance service, fire brigade, it's all the same kind of thing in a way. Maybe, especially with the forces, the military, when you leave, let's say that you go through your service and you might have done an operational tour, but you might have been based in a fairly safe location. So you could have gone out to anywhere and not really experienced anything traumatic. But when you come out of the forces, especially if you've served a long time, but not just that, but you come out of the forces and suddenly you're just a civilian yourself. You might have gone from having a bit of rank and being well thought of and having a little bit of kudos about you, maybe the regiment you served in or whatever, the job you did. The next minute you're nothing. I was chatting to a guy, ex-SFSG, Special Forces Support Group guy, and he said to me, when he come out the forces, sat in a pub, his local pub, and he just sat there looking around at everybody thinking, none of them have got a clue of what I've done or what I've seen. So that can affect you mentally as well. The feeling of 1 minute being involved in something big and quite powerful, and the next minute you're just Joe Bloggs on the street. So that can affect your mental health, your well-being. So it's not necessary, what I'm trying to say is it's not necessarily about going through a very, very intense traumatic experience, although that obviously happens and that can affect people. When I come back off various operations, Bosnia is a good example, you see some terrible stuff, destruction, death, and it does affect you. Now, I don't believe, and I've certainly not been diagnosed with PTSD or anything like that. My other half, El Trace around, she said when I come back sometimes I was slightly different, but you don't know it. I never have any memory of me being any different when I come back off of these different operations, but apparently I was. And it was never picked up by the military. Apart from once, and I'll tell you, I'll be open about it, I don't mind. I'd been back from Iraq. I got wounded out in Iraq, so I came home early in the tour. And I got back and I was on the Y list. Now the Y list is basically, you're on the sick. You're on the Y list and I was just stuck at home. I couldn't go into work, I couldn't do anything. And I felt okay, but I was on the Y list to recover from my injuries. And I've done a bit of gardening and etc, etc. Well then, I went back to work, carried on normal jogging. Everything's all right, happy days. And it was about maybe less than a year after coming back from that tour that I had to go to the medics. Now in the forces, you have a thing called pull-ins. We call it pull-ins. And basically it's a physical MOT that every service personnel goes through once a year. I believe it's once a year, isn't it? I have to think now, I can't remember, I'm starting to forget stuff. So you have your pull-ins, a regular checkup anyway. And you go and you see the nurse in the med centre. They do your blood pressure and your pulse and what else they do? They weigh you, give you an eye test, I think. I can't remember, hearing test you get. Just a little bit of a general checkup, and you have a chat then after the nurse has done all that stuff. You go in and see the MO, the medical officer, and he has a quick chat with you, make sure everything's all right. And that's it, and make sure you're up to grade. You're up to medical standard for deployment, basically. You get graded. So I went along for my one. Now, I'd been downgraded already because I'd got quite a lot of hearing loss. And so I was already medically downgraded and could no longer go operational, but the army kept me in. So it goes along for this, the nurse does her bit, and then I had to go through to see the MO. Now, it was at Shorncliffe Medical Centre in Folkestone, in Kent. And I went in there, and the MO must have been on leave. And I never went sick much anyway, so I didn't know the MO. But there was a female doctor in there, and she was a civilian doctor, and she was a locum. So she was sort of drafted in, I suppose, to cover him. So she was a civilian, didn't know her, didn't know me. And I sat down and she's looking through my notes, and then she said, "You've been through quite a bit on different operations, etc." I said, "Well, yeah, I've been in a long time, you know." And then she said, "Well, I'm referring you for," I can't remember the exact wording she used. "So I'm referring you for something like mental health screening." And I went, "What?" I was quite surprised. I said, "I'm fine." She said, no, she said, "I want to send you up to," I think it was called Victoria House in London. Anyone out there remembers that place or been there themselves, let me know. Victoria House in London. I said, "No." I said, "I'm all right, I'm fine, I don't need that." She said, "Listen," she said, "you might be a sergeant major, she said, but I outrank you whether I see you or not. I'm your MO at the moment and you're going. End of." So that was me told. So booked myself a car for a transport squadron, and on the day took myself up to London to Victoria House. And it was a strange old setup. It was this sort of old Victorian style red brick building, and parked up and went in there. And it was strange because when I went through the door of the main sort of building, big arched door if I remember, you went in on the right hand side, there was a reception desk there on the left, and on the right hand side was sort of like a creche or a kids nursery place set. I was sharing the building with them, I don't know. So then I went up to the reception desk, gave them my bit of paperwork, a letter or whatever. They went, "Oh yes, right, Sergeant Major, you're going to take a seat in the waiting room." And then I started to get really paranoid because I sat in, I was the only one in this little waiting room, and I could see there was a camera up in the corner, and there was a coffee table with a couple of magazines on it. It was a soldier magazine and I don't know, some housekeeping or country life magazine, something like that. And I thought, I started to get paranoid I don't know why. And I thought, have they put these magazines down there watching me on that camera to see what I'm going to pick up and look at, you know? So I didn't look at anything, I just sat there like a lemon. Anyways, captain from I believe he's from the medical corps, Royal Army Medical Corps, come through and got me and took me into his office and sat me down and started asking me about operational tours in Northern Ireland and Bosnia and Iraq and how I was feeling, etc. And I was answering all these questions. I really can't see a problem. So at the end of it, he just said, "Well, that's it. Thanks very much. That's it, done." Nothing, no diagnosis or answer. Anyway, so I said to him, I said, "Hang on, sir." I said, "Am I mental or what? What's going on?" He said, No. He said, "You're all right." He said, "But," he said, "you have got a guilt complex and you've got low self-esteem." And apparently, he said, the guilt complex I'd got at the time was because I'd come back, I'd been evacuated from Iraq partway through the tour. And so I'd got this guilt about not finishing the tour. Because it was the first time really I'd not finished the tour. So that was that. And I got back and nothing else was said. So I don't know, apart from what he said, I don't think I've had any mental problems. But the thing is, I'm from a generation, and I'm sure many of you out there are, especially in the forces, that if you didn't feel quite right mentally in your head or whatever, well, I don't know what you call it, I'm no expert, you just cracked on. I mean, back in Northern Ireland days, you would come back from Northern Ireland, get off the white bus back at camp, clean your gat, hand your gat in at the armoury, and then go down to Naffy and get hammered if you was a single guy. And that's how you dealt with it. You all had a drink and just cracked on. I don't know. And certainly if you were feeling bad about something, no one ever mentioned it. You know, I can't even remember sitting down with my mates and them saying, oh, you know, I don't know, I'm not handling this very well, Keith. I don't feel quite right about what happened, or started to break down. I never saw any of that. I never witnessed it anyway. I'm sure it happened, but I didn't. And it sort of had that man up attitude. Take a man pill, get a grip, son, push on. That's what was happening back then. Thankfully, those days have appeared to have gone now. I mean, troops coming back from the last sort of operations we had out in the Middle East had decompression time. Our decompression time was just going down the nappy and getting hammered. That's how you dealt with it. Self-medicate with alcohol, I suppose. But it's a lot better now than it was, and people are more open about it now than they were, which is a great thing. But obviously, you know, people are suffering. That's my own little take on it. And I think there should be more done. And of course, there is help there. Of course, there's help there for veterans and for everybody else, serving members, and for civilians. There's help there. But it's knowing that something's wrong with you. And even if someone near to you, dear to you, tells you, look, you're not quite right, you might not want to accept it. So it's difficult to make that step to get help. So that brings me on nicely to the next part of this video, Operation Jackdaw. I've done a video about it before, but I want to chat to you about it a bit further now. So Operation Jackdaw is set up down in Kent, just outside Canterbury, in beautiful Kent countryside. I've never been there, but I know the area quite well because I used to live down there and I was stationed at Canterbury for a while. So I do know that area, and I know roughly pretty much where Operation Jackdaw is being operated from. So it's been set up by some mainly ex-forces, and they're from my regiment, the Princess of Wales's Royal Regiment, PWRR. Paul Schilling's the main guy that's running it. He's the CEO. Fantastic charity. Now, if you're into wild camping, or you like a bit of survivalist type stuff, learning skills, woodcraft, things like that, this would be ideal for you. The great thing about it is it's free. It doesn't cost you a penny, apart from getting yourself down there with transport and back again. It's always on a Saturday, so you get down on the Saturday, you camp there the Saturday night, you do lots of activities in the daytime, a bit more on the Sunday, and then you roll your gonk bag up, knock your basher down, and it's end X. So it's all free, including food and equipment. So if you haven't got any kit, if you're on your arse and you think it's something that you'd like to do, we'll chat more, and I'll put stuff in the description for you how you can get on it. Also down there on Operation Jackdaw, you've got a guy there, Kai, and he is the well-being officer, if you like. So if it's a drop-in centre, if you want to chat to him about something, you can wander off in the woods somewhere, sit down with him and just have a chat. Or you can chat amongst other veterans that are there, make new friends. So it's a great way, if you have got any issues, or you think you might have issues, have a look at it. If you know somebody, if you've got a friend that doesn't go on this channel and look at my rubbish, and you think it might be something that a loved one or a friend might want, don't have to give them this video. Just search online, Google Operation Jackdaw. Now, there is another Operation Jackdaw. It's something to do with the Second World War, so don't get confused with that. This is Operation Jackdaw Camp Point. Again, I'll put it in the description so you can click on it and find it there. So I think it's a great idea. I've never been, like I say. I haven't camped for years. I think the last time I camped was with the kids, I don't know, years ago. Or when I was in the army, maybe, I can't remember. But if you're into that kind of thing and you like a little bit of woodcraft, you know, carving a spoon, making yourself a racing spoon, modern equipment, they've got equipment displays down there. They've also got some air rifles, so there's a bit of shooting range goes on, a bit of a competition, a bit of a laugh. All that sort of stuff's going on. And there's some very skilled people down there that know their onions. Some people that can show you stuff. Doesn't matter how much you think you know. I bet you there's somebody who knows something you don't. And there you could learn a new skill. You can all sit around a campfire, swing a lantern, pull up a sandbag, chat about the old days. There's a bit of military history chat going on. So it's quite an interesting bunch of people. And of course, there's the other people that are going down there, not just the staff, the other veterans, etc., that are going down there that you can chat with and learn and reconnect with like-minded people. It's been so successful at Operation Jackdaw. They're getting very good sponsorship and support, but it's been so successful that recently a Special Forces, a British serving Special Forces guy, went down and visited Operation Jackdaw to have a look at their setup, because he'd bought a chunk of land and wants to set up something similar for ex-Special Forces veterans. So that's how good it is. PWR leading the way again, just saying. So that's Operation Jackdaw, just a little bit about what it's like. You can find out much more online when you visit their website. Now it comes on the third part of my video, meeting up, because this call sign, LTS tab 59, let's tab 59, this call sign is going down to Operation Jackdaw next year. And the date I'm going to go down is Saturday, the 28th of June, 2025. Now that's, what, 8 months away now, we're in October. So it's a long way off, but I needed to sort all this out in advance. So if you're thinking of going down there, and you want to go down there the same time as this old git, and have a laugh and a joke with me, or whatever, then feel free to do that. To book any of those weekends, it's one Saturday a month throughout the year. So if you want to go down on it, go to the website. I've looked on the website this morning and they haven't published next year's dates yet. But I spoke to Paul this morning, Paul Schilling, and he's given me the dates, and I've chosen Saturday the 28th of June 2025 for the day that I'm going to go down and spend the night there. So if you want to go, contact Paul on the website, tell him you've seen this video, you've seen this old nutter talking to you, and that you'd like to go along. You want to, let's tab 59 subscribers or whatever, and you'd like to come down there on the same Saturday as myself, and he will go through the process and tell you everything and book you on. Absolutely free of charge. If you've got your own basher, you've got your own tent, obviously not caravans and trailer tents and camper vans and things like that. It's all got to be man-packed. So you can take your own stuff. Of course you can. If you've got your own, you do a bit of wild camping, you've got your own kit and equipment, you want to try it out in the field, wild camping, then bring that down. That takes the pressure off a Paul. But if you haven't got anything and you need to go down there, you want to go down there, they will supply everything. Now, I believe also that I'm sure Paul is watching this. I believe also that on the Saturday evening after the daytime events, when everyone starts to chill out and get around the campfire, that there is a large cheese board laid out and maybe a little drop of port. Now, most of us veterans like a bit of cheese and a bit of port. So that's something else that's added on. All free of charge, all done by this fantastic bunch of people, this fantastic charity. So I think it's worth a shout. I think it's worth a punt. And as I say, you don't have to have it's not all about mental health issues. It's just about getting together and learning stuff and having a laugh and experience it all. And getting back amongst like-minded people. Royal Navy, Army, Royal Air Force. Maybe Flight Lieutenant, not Flight Lieutenant, what was it? Squadron Leader Hoppy Hopkins will turn up, I don't know. But have a think about it. If you've got any mental health issues, you can keep it quiet, keep it to yourself. When you get down there, go to the right guy, sit and have a chat with him. Don't be alone. Don't suffer alone. Don't have to do it the same weekend that I'm going down on that Saturday, the 28th of June. You can go on you can pick a different weekend or different Saturday if you like. So that's what that's all about. So let's see who's going to turn up. I'd love to meet some of you guys. I've met a few subscribers, but I'd like to meet more of you. And hopefully, I know my mate Nobby that's on here. We're planning, I think Nobby, if he's still up for it, Nobby is going to come down to my house and we're going to travel down so we can share the vehicle, share the transport down. So that's another idea. Get hold of somebody else and come down as a pair. But I'll be down there, I'll chat to you, don't worry about that. I'll bore you to death, you know what I'm like. So anyway, that's it, troops, for today. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all your comments on my videos. I'm a bit bogged down at them. I'm trying to get through some of the comments from the last couple of videos I've done at the weekend about remembrance. Sunday and about the protest, possible protests that people want to do. So I'm trying to get through the comments, but please keep commenting. I will try and answer you. Keep it respectful for everything that we do. And please consider what I've said in this video. Don't be alone. If you're suffering with any sort of mental health issues, don't have to go down an Operation Jackdaw, but talk to somebody, a mate, anybody. Have a nat with them. Don't suffer alone. It's nothing demeaning. It's not that you're not a man or you're not a proper woman. It's nothing to do with that. Just think about it. So that's my waffle. Look at this countryside, eh? It's stunning, isn't it? Look at that behind me. This is how I sort my mental health out. I get out here and have a natter to you lot. That's how I keep myself sane. Anyway, troops, thanks very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider it. I'm not saying it, I'm saying consider it. Till the next time, troops, stay safe and remember, let's tab.